Welcome to the Daily Exchange. I'm Fred Trabesta, co-founder of Finder.com.au, and we are here today because we're going back up, baby. We're going all the way back up. We're going to talk about a bit of security. We're going to talk about the different coins. We're going to talk about did we hit the bottom, and we just might be flying up as we go. I'll see you guys just after this. Welcome back, guys. We are here, and we're on the way up. I love being on the way up. Feels great. Guys, going to talk about the top 5 coins and some trading trends right now. Just give you a quick price summary of where we're at. Bitcoin had a little rally last night. We're rallying back up, continues to recover. We're back over 6,600, in fact, 6,630 right now. Ethereum back over $475 at 477. EOS up to $9.12. That's 13.64% up. EOS, welcome back. Bitcoin Cash at $787. I was talking about EOS last night, actually, with an ICO that I was chatting with, and really interestingly, there is some speculation coming out of Korea that the government is funding a whole lot of new projects, and 50% of them are planning to build on EOS. Now that's kind of cool, really. And it's interesting that I guess in Korea, a lot of the new projects are looking to build on these new blockchains, and there's a lot of funding coming out of this Korean new place called Busan. And in Busan, they have some special tax provisions, and they have allowed people to do, it's called the crypto beach. So it's almost like, you know, if you got Venice Beach or Malibu Beach or Bondi Beach or whatever it may be, and they've cordoned off this area in Korea, in Busan. And in this crypto beach, you're allowed to do ICOs. There's favorable terms for crypto companies. There are special banking laws to allow people to bank. All these kind of things, they've kind of grouped them together and put them in one place. And if you're from that area, you tend to get better results when you're pitching for government contracts and things like that. Busan, guys, check it out. There is the Korean Blockchain Week Summit also coming up next week, which I will be heading to. So if anyone wants to come and hang out with me. We're going to hang out with the ballers, come out with the crypto crew. So yeah, bit of EOS news there. On the way up. We actually are moving around a bit right now. We actually are circling up a little bit. The markets are quite favorable right now in terms of, keep on talking about what else is going on. Bitcoin Cash at $789. Litecoin at $85. It's back over 80 bucks. That's cool. Ethereum Classic has gone up to $16.77. Ethereum Classic just literally jumps all around the place. It's incredible. Now, I want to talk about a couple of interesting ones, particularly Ripple's up 7% to almost 50 cents at 49 cents. NEO up 16%. That's a lot. $36.57. Binance coin, strangely, hasn't really moved. Only went up 1.79%, trading at $14.58. Really interesting. Binance coin not moving that much. Not sure why that is. IOTA up 10% to $1.17. Tron only up 6.4% at 4 cents. Cardano flying up around 10% to 15 cents 70. I just don't understand why Binance coin didn't move there. It's very interesting. It kind of moves counter-cyclical potentially to the market. When we were flying down before, Binance coin seemed to stay pretty good, but now it seems like the as we go up, the promising new cryptocurrencies that you know are out there, they seem to be flying a lot more than these other safer coins. It's interesting. People like future potential when we're going up. Obviously, analysts are suggesting on recent trends 6,800 potentially represents the next test of resistance. And psychologically, I think if we can get past 7,000, That could be a really, 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 really key number. I'll have to wait and see, obviously. Stellar is up 7% and Ripple up 5%, as we were talking about. And the major coins, NEM, saw a huge rise of 20%. Massive. A lot of projects actually are looking at NEM, which is really interesting. They're sort of in the background pedaling away at that as, you know, as a great little protocol. Now, if you have a look, at CoinWatch, it doesn't exclude the outliers, which CoinMarketCap does. And if you include the outliers, it's potentially up 40%. That's huge. And a lot of the volume's coming out of Korea. Korea being very, very active right now, maybe potentially because next week is blockchain week, and there are a lot of great little summits and events happening in Korea, so strongly encourage anyone to have a look at that and head to Korea, come and hang out with the crypto crew. Cardano, IOTA, and EOS obviously were up quite a lot. EOS is now trading at actually $9.16 as we were literally just talking just then. And Ethereum is obviously following the lead, and it's sticking with it, sticking with Bitcoin, that is. I guess there's been some news here. Anthony Iorio, co-founder of Ethereum and an earlier investor in Bitcoin, was speaking to Bloomberg in recent days. The billionaire says he hasn't stopped looking for bargains in the crypto space. And I quote, "The biggest stake for me is in Qtum and VeChain." Got a lot of coins in Qtum and VeChain. The two Chinese projects. There's much more opportunity in newer ones if you can identify them. Well, I guess EOS was trading at 50 cents before and now at $9. So there are coins out there still that can change your financial future. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but it is purely about information and what's going on in the market. As a reminder, VeChain is the 18th ranked currency via market cap. And obviously, it's all about, with VeChain, it's about supply chain management. Now, supply chain management has been seen to be potentially a great use case, and there are private blockchains currently using it for supply chain management, so giving it unique codes, QR codes, and things like that, and they're all fed into VeChain. Now, the thing about it is, my only issue with all of this is that what happens when you need to verify or take action, governance action, via the blockchain? Can the blockchain itself actually implement any changes to the supply chain? Can they actually, enforce sanctions or penalties if someone goes against what is said in the blockchain? It doesn't really happen, right? And because of that, I'm not actually that convinced as of yet whether the blockchain is and supply chain are best married together. Unless we can put some governance around the blockchain itself and ensure that it actually enacts some sort of actions or governance or sanctions or penalties or for bad actors. Because until that happens, you can write whatever you want in the blockchain, but you could just write it in a database as well. Unless some human reads that and goes and takes the action, it doesn't really mean anything. So once that does happen, but I do think there is massive potential for it, but I just think right now we're currently in a state where it's just as good as a central database. Geez, I really poo-pooed on VeChain there. That was unintentional. I didn't mean to do that. I love you, VeChain, and you're probably sorting that out, but I just think you should put in some sort of governance thing and get the actual blockchain itself to do something. All right, guys, we're going to move right on. Item number 2, EOS RAM. Prices just flying up for some reason, right? A lot of speculation that's been going on right now. Some people have claimed that some of the block producers have potentially been doing insider trading. I don't know if it's true, I don't know if it's not true, but let me assure you now, if it is true, they are definitely making some money out of it. So the RAM speculation, the RAM price is something which is used for dApps. And the RAM price has been going up. Now, RAM can be decreased and increased by block producers. It can also be changed in terms of obviously supply, and that is done by obviously the computing power and things like that they need to agree on. Now, the RAM price has, obviously the RAM price can be doubled, it can be halved, it could be done for whatever it may be, and that obviously improves the economics around producing more RAM or less RAM for the market. Now, in terms of it going up in value, what's driving that, or what is the reason for that? I'm not exactly sure, and I don't think it's actually clear as to what is driving that. I don't know if there are any specific apps or dApps or whatever it may be coming out. It could just be speculation by block producers buying up RAM early. I guess, will it affect adoption? Potentially. It's not. I don't think it's too crazily expensive right now, but I do think the activity is really good and really strong, which does excite me. In terms of, I guess, EOS New York have been saying that they're not going to notify. They'll notify 7 days ahead of time their plans to change the RAM. Do we have a diagram, Joel, in terms of the RAM price right now? On the right, let's have a look. The EOS RAM price graph. Let's see if we've got something like this. Essentially, have a look at this. So I've just brought this up. So EOS price per megabyte. So you can see here, this is over time, and this here is obviously the price. Seems to be still loading. It takes a bit of time, doesn't it? I wonder if there's another tool. So there is trading that could be possibly done on EOS as well, guys, in terms of RAM. So do have a look at that. You can see the EOS price here. EOS RAM price. Let's take it back in time a little bit. What if we go back? Where can we go back to? Let's try this. Right. I'll take all of time. So it's definitely going up in value there. You can see it started out pretty cheap. And recently there's been a real spike. You can see that there. So that was happening over the last few days. Which is kind of interesting, right? So it's gone from about 2 cents to over 4 cents, even 5 cents. So it's like about 1.5 times up. That's pretty heavy. That's more like 2.5 times, right? It's doubled. Or is it 1.5 times? I think it's 1.5 times. No, 2.5 times. Really interesting and something to definitely look at, because you can see the buy and selling of the RAM there that can be used. Does it indicate that there's going to be more usage of it? Only 82.98% has been used. So potentially there's some more opportunity here. Could be a sign for EOS potentially, could not be, not sure. Not exactly clear right now, but it's definitely something to monitor, and definitely something I think that everyone out there, if you're an EOS holder, should consider. Moving on, item number 3. Exchange Watch, BTCC, Bobby Lee's original Bitcoin exchange, which he sold last year. I met Bobby Lee when I was in London. He sold this at the start of this year to another company, basically, and they have relaunched the exchange. It is obviously was potentially a former top 3 exchange. They've launched with 0 fees for the first 3 months, trading Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, and obviously it's been launching a coin, much like the Binance coin. And obviously they're looking for registrations and verifications, and obviously trying to encourage people to deposit and trade back on BTCC, the original, way back there in the day, an early exchange. It's great to see them come back. It's a good brand to have back. In other news, the exchanges, Coinbase has launched and opened for business with its custody service. It has taken on 10 hedge funds customers with its new service. And Coinbase says it plans to have 100 large institutional customers. And it's opening its service to Asian institutions by the end of 2018. Now, custodianship is one of those things, right, where you're going to store your crypto and where you're going to store large volumes of it. So it's great to see Coinbase joining the market and helping obviously attract adoption for those bigger trades, there's bigger markets out there, and it's great to see. We need some more of that. We need more. Bring on custodianship. Moving on, guys. I'll talk about security a little bit. Security is one of those things, really, with crypto, because it's unreversible. Now, there's been some latest threats happening right now. McAfee Labs, that's I guess the former John McAfee, said there's been a rise in crypto jacking, they call it. Crypto jacking. 629% in the first quarter of 2018. Up, a big rise in crypto jacking. And one of the big issues right now in the last 24 hours has been people whose clipboards, so like when you copy and paste, their clipboards are getting hijacked. So when you're copying and pasting addresses, they're getting changed out. It's been claimed that there are 2.3 million addresses that have been potentially under threat. And obviously, my suggestion right now is you need to double check your addresses before you send them. Double check them. Check the letters at the start, the end, obviously some in the middle as well. If you're with a Mac or OS, obviously most people think they're protected, but there's actually, again, some malware that is coming through for Macs over Slack and Discord channels. So my suggestion there is, again, don't click on random links in Slack and Discord that seem too good to be true. Be careful with your clicks and be careful with your clipboards, and obviously watch out for malicious code. Now, how can you protect yourself? Well, realistically, you can fix all these issues, and I think it's always good to have a very clean, potentially have a very clean computer that is not connected to any of these other things. You don't click on all these random stuff. And your other computer is used for your day-to-day stuff, but the trading and all that kind of stuff sticks on one computer. Get a VPN service to start with. Now, Finder has a great comparison of VPN services, and that's how you can pick up one like that. Just type in Finder VPN. I don't know if you can post a link to the VPN software comparison, Joel, in the chat. VPN Finder, it's got them all there. It's got them all reviewed. We've been using NordVPN, and it's been working really well for us. It's $12 a month, pretty cheap. If you buy it for a year, I think it's $69. Not that I own any NordVPN shares, but do check out the comparison because there are different, obviously, I've got it up here on the screen, Joel, if you want to show everyone, but obviously there are different services, and depending on what you're looking for. Some of them have mobile support, which is really cool, so you can have your mobile phone protected as well. NordVPN gives you up to 6 devices. There's obviously other ones there that are a bit cheaper, but do have a look at those. It's a great little comparison. It'll help you protect your computer and your cryptocurrency. The other thing to be really careful of, as I said before, is that to take your coins off exchanges. So recently, Bitthumb and CoinCheck have been hacked, and obviously where you keep your keys is really important. So what Finder's put together, guys, for you is a comparison of wallets. So if you go, I don't know if Joel, you can post this link as well. There is a comparison of wallets, so Ledger, Trezor, Coinbase, Altcoin. This cool wallet one actually we saw in New York and Consensus. They're really cool, like they're little thin cards. Do jump on and get yourself a hardware or a cold wallet, whatever you want to call it, cold storage. It's basically a great little tool. It's super fast. The transaction fees are just as similar to other places and wallets. And the great thing about it is it's nice and small and compact, and you can take it wherever you need to go. And then all you need to do is get your private key, write it down on a piece of paper. Don't copy and paste it. Don't write it down on anywhere technically. Grab that little piece of paper and put it into your, I don't know, a sock in the top drawer, somewhere safe, somewhere unusual. Who knows where you could put it, but maybe inside your computer, maybe, I don't know. It's up to you guys, but find somewhere safe to put that little piece of paper so that you can remember. We have, the last thing you want to do is practice your recovery steps. So go back over your recovery steps and actually practice pretending that you've lost your private key or lost your way to access it. We got a question coming in, guys. So if you do have any questions, do send them in. Joel, what's the question we've got right now? Fred, what's your latest thoughts on Dogecoin? I love this show. You guys are awesome. Let's have a look at Dogecoin. What do we got? You know, I've always talked about Dogecoin in terms of it being, you know, I guess a bit of a joke with the internet. But actually, I think there's a place for that. Especially if you want to send, you know, a few coins to each other. You want to, it's been trading up 5%. I think it's one of those ones where, you know, people, like, it intentionally says, look, we're not doing anything. We're not trying to be anything other than, you know, some digital currency. We're not trying to like, you know, change supply chain or do some gambling thing or, you know, revolutionize the distributed ledger. They're just straight up saying, hey, if you want to give someone on the internet a few coins for being comical or, you know, for what they've done with their art or whatever, you know, with their cool gifts or whatever it may be, I think there's a place for that, right? I think there's a place you send them Dogecoin because it's not intended to be anything other than some sort of digital currency, and I think there's a place for that on the internet. There is a great community around comedy and unusualness on the internet, and I love that. I think it's great. I love how they're just straight up about it. They're just saying, hey, you know, we are just hanging out here, trying to like just, you know, help people pay some money to each other for their, you know, entertainment value, and I think it's great. I think it's a good way for, I guess, tipping people and things like that. I'm not sure whether it's like a hardcore long-term investment, I guess, potentially. Who knows? Maybe there's some more integrations that they can do in the future with other services. Maybe they don't even need to. Maybe it's just something that just naturally has that viral humor to it that just keeps building over time. It's one of those things. I think it's a good little coin. Something which I'm quite fascinated by, and it's, well, as much as people like put it down, I think there's definitely a place for it, which is really interesting. Anyway, coming back to security, guys, I think going back over it, just double check your addresses. Don't click on random links. Get yourself a hardware wallet. Get your coins off the exchange, and just protect yourself, guys. It's important to keep your coins safe. Moving on, guys. Let's give a little price update as well, Joel. I'm up for a price update. What are we trading at here? Bitcoin at 6,625. We're just trading sideways. I love this beautiful sideways trajectories. For some reason, always sideways. They either go down or they go up. They at least move somewhere. But I've just been noticing these weird, eerie sideways patterns. Ethereum at $476. EOS at $9.15. Bitcoin Cash at $790. Litecoin at $86. Ethereum Classic at $16.78. Neo up to $36.75. Ripple at 49 cents. And Binance Coin now up a little bit by 1.7% at $14.59. IOTA at $11. Cardano at 15 cents, 15.6 cents. And Tron back over 4 cents, up 6.74% in the last 24 hours. All right, guys, moving on. We've got a really interesting thing coming up. There is potentially a Satoshi Nakamoto hoax or tell-all book coming out. A story today, potentially, from the Nakamoto Family Foundation has sprung up with a 21-page excerpt purporting to be written by Satoshi Nakamoto and with suggestions of a tell-all book yet to come. As been coming around, I've noticed the this duality, and if you do read the paper, it is pretty on point. So Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, but nothing is known about who he, she, they are, except that Satoshi Nakamoto is almost certainly not their real name. It is probably the most common name in Japan. That's where it comes from. It's like John Smith. There have been several people misidentified as Nakamoto over the years, but this new writing doesn't seem to be the work of any of them. There's no reason to believe that this new paper is not the work of the real Satoshi Nakamoto. But there's also no reason to believe it is. Wow, I love this conspiracy that underlies it. It's like, you know, it feels like, you know, how did the pyramids get made? And, you know, did man really go to the moon? And, you know, someone must have. Researchers believe that the person or persons who invented Bitcoin still hold upwards of 900,000 Bitcoin, which is 5.8 billion of value, and will place them in the top 100 wealthiest Americans in the world. Now that's a lot of cash. That is a lot of cash. Guys, that's all I've got here for the Daily Exchange. Thank you so much for following along. Do subscribe, join us, jump onto some of those links. Tomorrow, we've got the ICO Emanate, which are building on EOS, coming in to have a chat. Sean, my man, is going to have a chat with us and tell us all about this dApp that they're building on the EOS platform. Yes, you heard it right, a dApp on the EOS platform, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Welcome back to the Daily Exchange.